For the past 900 years, Earth's most distant community disappeared from history up to the present. Men have become the laborers while women are the ones taking control. Two sole survivors from planet Earth, named Wade and Jake Carpenter, are hoping to find other signs of life in the planet called Antares, a world in which women rule. They are on a mission to get every possible way to save humans from extinction. Now that they have boarded their Soul spacecraft, they are on their way to achieving it. Due to the planet's magnetic field, their spacecraft lost control of their systems, and they are having a difficult time before landing on their planet. Fortunately, they are still alive and only slightly hurt as a result of the collision. Jake is rather shocked that he heard a dog barking, even if he is not really hoping that there may still be other living creatures on planet Antares. Following the sound, Wade was surprised to see a young child carrying a dog. The child's name is Will. He must be offered as a sacrifice to the enormous serpent worshipped by one of the goddesses named Taxan. Will ran away after warning Jake that there were snake heads behind them. Jake followed Will despite being somewhat perplexed by what he was saying. The Taxan warriors later kidnapped Will, who they then took to the temple where the ritual sacrifice is set to be made. Wade followed them, and he was able to get inside the temple without being noticed. The soldiers and devotees of the goddess Taxan and Queen Sumuru are present inside the temple. The ruler of the planet Antares is Sumuru. Taxan is the one who will be summoning the enormous snake and gets to choose who will be sacrificed. Sadly, Will is the biological brother of Dove, the personal guard of Queen Sumuru. Dove was furious because she was not expecting that. Will is not an exception to the rule because on their planet, males are supposed to suffer and are either destined to die or be their slaves. Then Dove fought Taxan's female troops to halt the ritual sacrifice. Fortunately, she battled fiercely and defeated them. As a result, one of the warriors, rather than her brother, was devoured by the gigantic snake in place of the sacrifice. Goddess Taxan questioned Queen Sumuru about what had happened, but Queen Sumuru said that a sacrifice had already been made as part of the ritual. What transpired astounded Wade. However, his friend called him on his radio and was heard all over the temple. Every lady in the temple saw him and wanted to murder him. Wade, fortunately, had brought a handgun, and he shot the temple's ceiling. He managed to flee, but the Taxan warriors eventually tracked him down. They have weapons with them. They will use crossbows and spears to murder him. One of the leaders of the warriors who was holding a crossbow was able to shoot his leg with a poison arrow, an arrow filled with snake venom. Wade piqued Queen Sumuru's interest. He therefore located him as well. The Taxan warriors were ordered to stop and release him by Queen Sumuru. Wade's hiding place, the spaceship, was entered by Queen Sumuru. From there, he could see Wade and Will together. Will revealed to Sumuru that a poison arrow was used to shoot him. Sumuru pulled the arrow that deeply pierced Wade's leg because he knew there was an antidote that could rescue Wade. After administering the antidote, Wade is thereafter gradually recovering. They need to converse, therefore Queen Sumuru ordered that they accompany them to the temple. Wade and his friend Jake were brought together. Jake is the one who is informed about the technology that could eventually assist them in leaving the planet Antares. They perform a medical scan on both of them while they wait in their room to check for any illnesses or viruses that would compromise their mission. Will insisted that they scan him as well after noticing what they were doing. They were surprised to discover that they are virus-free, free of the virus that led to human extinction on planet Earth. Wade was then taken to the Queen's room by the personal guards. Wade was mesmerized by the beauty of the Queen. They arrived as the Queen was in the middle of a public bath. His gaze strayed to Sumuru's body and her fair, radiant skin, a view that any man can't resist. Wade and the Queen are currently talking privately. She inquired as to their genuine motivations for visiting their planet at such great distance. Wade informed them that they must leave their planet as soon as possible, since it is dying, they must be saved. He said that the waning power of their planet's core, not the enormous snake, was what was causing the tremors. The Queen inquired as to how they managed to locate them. Wade claimed that 900 years ago, they had sent them a signal communication that was later halted. Queen Sumuru was unaware of everything that had occurred at the time. Later, Wade questioned why he hadn't noticed any men on their world. The Queen further went on to explain that men only cause issues on their world, and she later showed where the men are. Wade was taken aback by the state of men on their world at the moment. They are merely serving as workers in the sweltering sun. While the ladies are there to rule, they are mining coal and oil to keep the population of their world alive. But on occasion, they also employed men to procreate. Sumuru was so overcome by Wade's feelings that she forcibly kissed him. But Wade broke it off because what he saw had emotionally scared him. Goddess Taxan, who was watching from a distance, became so intrigued by Wade that she gave the order to her warriors to murder all the Sumuru guards in order to possess Wade. One of the Queen's personal guards was also slain as a result of the successful ambush. Wade is currently in Taxan's care. Wade was given the option by Taxan to join forces and govern the planet Antares. She stated that they'll both be the most powerful people. Wade, though, doesn't appear to be at all interested. Wade spotted a huge television while wandering the place. Taxan was unable to adequately respond to his question about what it is. Wade took a chance by attempting to send a signal on the screen when they were both kissing. The signal briefly turned on the TV screen before breaking down. Taxan was amazed by it and felt it was magic. Wade refused, despite her insistence that they repeat what happened. Taxan was enraged by this and wanted to murder him with the dagger she had on her shoulders. Although Taxan summoned her guards to her aid, Sumuru and Jake, disguising as Taxan warriors, arrived to save Jake instead. They attempted to flee together, but the cave was guarded, so they looked for another exit. Sumuru rejected Wade's suggestion of another exit because he claimed it was risky. Jake pursued going in that route since he was curious. They were surprised to see many males in cages. After talking, it was decided that they should be set free. They keep evading capture and making their way to the burning zone so that Jake and Wade can find a route out of the planet. Sumuru confronted Wade once again about their true goals as they traveled to the flaming zone, where they were hoping to see a spacecraft. Wade then admitted that Earth is already dead in addition to their planet Antares' demise, that he and Jake are the only people still alive. The gene virus, which prevents them from reproducing, is the cause of all of this. There is no treatment or antidote for the virus, and when they scanned Will and the Queen, they found no signs of it. As his last hope for the survival of humans, they requested assistance from Queen Sumuru. They carried on until they reached the flaming zone, where they discovered the spacecraft. Jake's knowledge and experience allowed them to successfully turn on the quantum flux reactor. They had a difficult beginning because Taxan and her army were also attempting to seize them. They managed to enter the spaceship and made an effort to stop Jake. Thankfully, Wade and Sumuru were able to find Jake and Will again, and they later defeated and destroyed Taxan. They were able to enter the spacecraft that had been there for a millennium before. To determine whether it would power up, they attempted to traverse the systems. Fortunately, despite its crude design, it was still operational. Wade urged that Sumuru accompany them as they prepared to leave the planet from within the spacecraft, and they consented. However, upon viewing from the spacecraft screen, Sumuru noticed her folks. Wade agreed that she should not leave them behind because they also need assistance. Jake, on the other hand, is hesitant to proceed because there may be a technological issue and insufficient power to support it. Jake eventually decided to do this after a little conversation. They descended, and Sumuru addressed her neighborhood. She appeals to them to travel with them. It was warmly welcomed by the neighborhood, and everyone joined them. They enthusiastically boarded the spacecraft. Sumuru is glad to be with her community. A short while afterwards, the spaceship lost equilibrium. Jake believed it might be the end for them, and they believed it was the earthquake. Wade stared at the screen and was shocked to see that the earthquake was not the cause. The huge snake has returned. The spacecraft was being attacked by the gigantic serpent. It's making an effort to keep them from going. Jake is concerned that it would damage the thrusters, causing them to become permanently stranded on that planet. Wade doesn't give up hope. He came up with a plan to combat the enormous serpent as he was thinking while staring at the television. To toast the snake, he gave Jake the order to turn on the left booster. Since the snake is still alive, they have chosen to activate all of their booster engines in an effort to utterly fry it. The spacecraft is fully operational after they successfully fought off the monstrous serpent. Will had served as its junior assistant captain under Jake's direction. Within the spacecraft, Will was able to find his dog. He is really happy to see him, despite the problems they had. They named him Dog. Wade and Sumuru were seen in the final shot gazing out into space. They are both ready to take over the universe, and Wade is hoping for them not to screw it up. We learn from this film that people will go to any lengths to survive. May they be putting their lives in danger to search for life in another world. If you like the content, give a like and subscribe for more videos. See you next time.